Okay.
Yes, you're right.
All right.
At the beginning of 8, then. Mini.
No, it's stuck in my head, dude.
Dude, it's such a good song. I can start us off in prayer today.
All right, buddy.
Dear Lord, we come before you today. We ask that you forgive us our sins as we forgive those that have sinned against us. I ask that you give us eyes to see and ears to hear and to read your word and not let any of our foolish thoughts or any of our foolish words muddy the truth of what's written here in this book. Let not a word be spoken here that isn't your will. Amen.
Amen.
Man, dude. Good job, my friend. What?
Nothing. So I would like to start off this week's Bible study, like to kind of like, I don't think we've really like talked about sort of like the purpose and the vision of what we're doing here in a full out, like just to explain it to the audience, you know?
Yeah.
So, for me, the big part of like the mission with what we're doing here is, like we've said before, we're not preachers. We're not anybody special, but if we can set an example, especially for our agency, and that grows into our community, and then our state, our nation, and as we reach more and more people, I mean, I'd like to see this example of what we're doing here reach other nations and kind of the world, and that's a big goal. But the idea is like these are just my two best friends in the world, and we can sit down and study the Bible, and that's something that you all can do as well. It's not it's nothing crazy, and I'd like to see people do this more often. It's something that anybody could do anytime. If you got a friend or two, sit down with them, say, "Hey, look, let's talk about the truth," because there's so much like even we talk about together. It's just nonsense. So I really cherish when we get the opportunity to talk about the truth and the Word of God. And yeah, that's kind of at least my vision for what we're doing here.
That's super weird because I thought about this all day yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought about this all day because I was nervous about doing this and like saying the wrong thing or giving the wrong message, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about this,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing and somebody take what we're saying as gospel, because you shouldn't. You should read it yourself and come to your own understanding, or ask like a pastor or something if you don't understand. Mm-hmm. But then we had, I told you guys about my friend. I think I mentioned it on here. My friend that's very atheist.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic dude. Great guy. I want to see him in heaven.
Yeah.
He's never really been about any of this kind of stuff, but he's watched an entire episode, at least one. I haven't asked him if he's watched any others, but
yeah.
He watched a whole episode and he was like, I thought it was cool. It's not holier than thou and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, that's pretty cool that he was interested enough, at least maybe in respect to me or whatever reason he had to watch a whole episode, but he did. So that's the goal. You know what I mean? Reach one person, you did your job.
Yeah. Well, and it's like before like the last couple of years, I was of the mindset of like, I mean, we're in the Bible Belt, so obviously there's lots of tradition and stuff. And I was like, well, it's not going to, I learned about this on Sunday, like I go to church. That's when I learn what I need to learn or whatever, you know what I mean? And I mean, obviously I don't go to church on Sundays, but like, I like underestimated the power in like getting together with your buddies and just discussing stuff. Because I was listening to one podcast. I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been like Wesley Huff or something. I really don't remember. But he was saying you like Sundays where you go and worship and be part of the church family and like outwardly express with the people in your community. Mm-hmm. And then sitting down with your boys or your family or whatever and just reading through the word and like, hey, like, this is what I get from that. Because it's just like a call. If we're in interviewing people and stuff, I could see something from a different angle and ask a different question. And then, or vice versa. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, this is what I asked him. And I was like, oh, shoot. Well, that just lines it all up. And like this, I feel like this is where like I learn more. Or maybe my mind's like opened up to learn more, I guess would be the case. Because like my studies outside of like a worship service, because you're there to worship like as a group,
Absolutely.
So it really like my defense whenever I was growing up to not going to church all the time was like, well, he says if multiple people gather in his name, he's there,
Yeah.
But like now I feel the difference. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Instead of just using that and being like, oh yeah, well me and my buddies talk about God every once in a while, like I used to.
Yeah.
And now like it's become a normal discussion. Like I called to check somebody at work the other day, and someone in corrections was like, oh yeah, we were watching your stuff back here. And I was like, really?
I had this same phone call.
Yeah. And I also had somebody, she was like, we were talking about doing a women's group.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, freaking do it.
It's cool to see
that's
it
cool.
like catching on.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole purpose of
Exactly.
what we're doing.
Exactly. But it's not, the only reason it's working is because it's not us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's 100% God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And like another thing you were talking about is like I was talking to you the other day about like even in our logo, like if you look at the Collective Advantage logo, you see like the cross swords. And like to me, that represents very much like in the Bible it says iron sharpens iron as a man sharpens another man. So that's what we're doing here is we're sharpening up. We're rounding ourselves out spiritually.
Yeah. I just think there's so much that goes on with it.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
the good thing is like everybody's that's watching is getting a piece of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It's cool stuff,
Yeah.
dude.
You say Cole and Seth?
It's cool stuff.
Oh.
I heard,
I was like,
I
yeah,
heard my name too.
You're
I was
cool
like,
too, buddy.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Good. Let's get into it, dude.
All right. So today we are moving on in Luke still. We're in Luke chapter 8. I'll just kick it off right there. Soon afterward, Jesus began going around from one city and village to another, proclaiming and preaching the kingdom of God. The 12 were with him, and also some women who had been healed of evil spirits and sicknesses. Mary, who is called Magdalene, golly, from whom 7 demons had gone out, and Joanna, the wife of Chuza, Herod's steward, and Susanna, and many others who were contributing to support out of their private means. I wonder what this, like, do you think that falls into, like, the, like, how women weren't really, like, documented much, but they're like, oh, yeah, these people were supporting him and going, you know what I mean? Because it's, I heard something the other day where it's like Jesus could have just done all the stuff himself, like food and whatnot, but, like, because it shows that they were supporting him, and as women back then, they were probably, like, supporting him, like, food and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, I heard something about gifts and, like, receiving and how it's, like, a humble thing to receive gifts from people. And it's, like, if you don't, then it's, like, a holier than thou. Like, oh, no, I'm not going to take that because, like, I don't need it, you know? Or that's the vibe that it gets. But anyways, sorry. I don't know why.
I wonder how much of that's like a cultural thing, like in their culture, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't know much about it.
No, I don't either.
Their
but-
ancient culture.
Yeah.
I would think like it sort of goes back to that idea that like Jesus was for everybody. He didn't turn anybody away.
Yeah.
Whereas like women back then were not like obviously not like equal to men. They didn't have like an equal place in society.
Mm-hmm.
And like to see that like I don't know, it's hard to like explain exactly what I'm thinking, but the idea that all are welcome.
Well, the fact that it's recorded here means it was an important thing because there's nothing in here that's
Yes.
not important.
Absolutely.
So, like, he's including the specific women with him, but he's also saying there's many others that are there. So it's like, I guess back then culturally, rabbis specifically wouldn't even bother like speaking to women. They would speak to like their husband because the husband was the one who was in charge of like the family and the whatever, and like a rabbi wouldn't even like waste his time per se giving his knowledge to a woman. Supposedly, that was like the culture thing you were talking about.
Well, there's like an equality. There's like an equality to it, but also inequality. But also, like if you're the leader of the household is supposed to be the man, right?
Yeah,
But as a good leader, there should be an equality to the way that you lead, and your partner, your helper, should be helping you in a way that, she's basically your equal. Right?
yeah,
Or you're doing it wrong.
yeah,
Like you should be empowering your wife to, give responsibility to her and do things on her own. Like you're not just telling her everything to do.
yeah.
She should be equal in like authority in the household, and you know what I mean. I don't know what I'm trying to say exactly, but
Well, you can't be a tyrant in your own household,
right. Like I don't like my wife. I think I'm sure she feels equal. I let her do, I don't let her do whatever she wants. But
Yeah,
I do. I allow her to do whatever
I give her
she
permission.
wants. Right.
During certain hours, she can make her own choices.
Yes.
No, but I get it because it's like certain things back then. Like, I mean, obviously we weren't there, so it's like looking back on culture specifically, we're gonna notice the things that are like drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like now, it's everybody's equal. Everybody, like women are empowered and like they are very outspoken and whatever, which is they should be, right? They should be outspoken. Everybody should be, but like it's such a hard shift in the opposite direction that they like skip over the fact of like the reason the guy was like, or the male was like the leader, and I mean we still are, but like it's because it's for protection of the women in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
or the whole household.
yeah, because the thing is like I was reading like a book I was reading. It was Hard Times Create Strong Men. He was talking about like tribal behavior and stuff, and it's like the men are the leaders, but the women are like the cherished part of the village because they're the ones. If there's no women, society cannot go on. Like they're the ones that are responsible for carrying the child. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Where like one guy could. It was weird because it was talking about like the alpha male and stuff and like the leader.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't really go out to battle in some of these societies because one guy could continue to grow the village, but you had to have multiple women. See what I'm saying? Because like they can only carry one kid at a time and it takes forever and all of that. But it was like that was a very like you protected the women no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's where guys now are dropping the ball because you either have the ones who don't give two craps about protecting people, or you have the ones that are my wife or girlfriend or whatever should be submissive to me and they should do everything that I say.
And that's two like totally
That's what I'm
different
saying.
extremes.
And neither one of them is correct.
Correct.
And it's like
all things, there should be a balance.
yeah.
Like you can't like be the leader of a household like if you aren't even capable of like protecting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the other hand, just because you are capable of protecting and you're capable of like violence,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't make you like just like the tyrant of the household and everybody's going to do what I say and like rule with like an iron fist.
Yeah, there has to be like, for example, I guess sometimes there's things where I'm like, no, we're not doing it. Like our household is not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she says that and I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's give and take.
If that's what you think, well, then we won't do it.
It's a collaboration. It's a partnership.
And then most of the other times we'll talk it out together. You know, there's the freedom for both of us to put our foot down and just say, no, we're not talking about this. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
And if it's something reasonable, or the other person's super passionate about it, then we'll be like, okay. All right.
Yeah, especially if it's like you can tell that they feel that way because it's like a core belief in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, she's being hateful, because that
Yeah.
happens. You know,
Yeah.
where you're like, oh well, I mean, yeah, we're doing it still.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to, but because I mean that happens. I mean, it's just like Randy said when we got married. He was like, some days it's going to be, he was talking about like percentages and stuff. He's like, it's not going to be 50-50. He's like, some days it's going to be 100 and 100. And some days it's going to be like, some days you're not going to be able to give 100%. You're going to feel like crap or not be able to do it or whatever. And then the other person significantly makes up for that. So it's not this whole like, oh, I'll give 50-50 and we'll be good, is just not a thing. You know?
Yeah.
Some days we got to give 100% because they're not in it. And the same thing, like maybe we're sick or something, or like it's really easy to get flustered and like go about something the wrong way, and then your wife will be like, I mean, you can just do it this way, and you're like even more mad because it's so simple and fixed, but like she's making up for it, you know what I mean? And it's like a normal thing. I just think it's weird how some people are like the submissive deal, and then they won't even do anything. You know what I mean? Most of those people don't do crap. You know what I mean? Like they're super lazy. All they do is play video games and freaking eat McDonald's. Yeah. And like,
it reminds me of like a video I saw the other day. I don't want to go off in too far of a crazy tangent here, but it's explaining like the philosophy of like one of the early like feminist writers. And I really wish I could remember her name. Because I think what she said was pretty profound, but she wrote and she explained in her estimation the reason for like an overrepresentation of men in like certain fields is because women are born with like an inherent sense of value. Women are valued amongst society, and also they have an inherent like self-worth because of the fact that like they bear life.
mm-hmm.
You know, whereas a man has a harder time like justifying his own existence unless he's accomplishing something. So it's the reason men build monuments and they build cities and societies and they invent vaccines and they do all these things where you would look at it and go, well, those are fields in which men are overrepresented because of a patriarchy. But I think there's like an inherent difference in what drives a man to accomplish things and what drives women to accomplish.
Yeah, because men have to have a sense of purpose.
Yes.
That's the easiest way to like see or to explain what's going on with a dude if he's in like turmoil or something. They have no purpose.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that 100%.
Two polar opposite perspectives on life.
What, women and men?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, we're built different. I mean, not like we're built different, but like...
Well, we are built different.
We are. We are. I don't want to flex because it'll bust the lens, but like, I mean, we're just... Our hormones are different, which makes our minds act different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's this whole like argument of like, oh, we're exactly equal all the time is like a little silly because we're made specifically to be like a yin and yang. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we're equal in value the way that anybody, any human life has value, but we're not equal in the way and the things that we choose to pursue.
Yeah, I mean, well, the things we choose to pursue, I wouldn't necessarily say that because they're in all kinds of fields now, just like we are. But the ability or the way in which we do it, though, is what's different.
Yes.
So, anyways, that really didn't have anything to do with these women walking around with Jesus, but
I thought that was good.
Yeah. No, I did too. But it's like, women are heavily documented in here.
Yeah.
In supporting Jesus and whatnot. And it's like, they wouldn't have cared back then. You know what I mean? Like, they'd have been like, oh, well, why are you talking to all these women, dude? Like, what does it matter?
I mean, that kind of was
You know
the
what I'm
point of
saying?
what we were talking about. Like,
Yeah.
as a man, Jesus, the perfect man,
Mm-hmm.
as a good leader, the perfect leader,
Yeah.
he showed respect to those at the time which would be considered lesser than.
Yeah.
So that's what you, as a good leader, of your household or anywhere really.
Mhm.
You should show respect for the people below you,
Yeah.
and treat them as equal.
Well, and it was like you said, like he's displaying like his love and passion for all.
Yeah,
Like his
absolutely.
love and intention towards all, not just Jews or just, whatever else was running around at the time. Like, and like he's not, especially when it comes to like talking about Pharisees, right? Like we read him in here. There's not like a negative light shined on them. It's just their actions. We're like, oh yeah, we get that. That dude's a turd, And it's like everybody is who he's here for.
Yeah.
He's not here for the people who did the traditions for him, like beforehand. Like he wasn't like, oh well, I mean, these other guys are doing so great, I'm gonna go down there and just save the rest, I guess. Because hopefully, I wish they were like these guys. That's not the case. You know what I mean?
And what's crazy is like sometimes like you get wrapped up in like I get wrapped up in the narrative of it, and I get this like sort of resentment towards the Pharisees, but like Jesus died for them as much as he died for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like he also has a heart to see them redeemed and forgiven and saved and like born again.
Yeah.
Like he reminds me of like, have you seen the video where like the family's like praying at dinner, and I think it's like a holiday or something, and like the youngin like stands up, he says, "Lord, please give me the strength. If I ever see that dude Judas, stretch that boy."
I'm assuming it's. Oh, never mind. Yeah. No, I've not seen that.
Yeah.
Well, and I was thinking the other day too, is like, because we were talking about it on the last show, how Jesus has always been and always will be, because he was with God and he is the Word. So like everything in here is Christ, which means like every opportunity, or not every opportunity, but every situation we see in here is like a little illustration of us, right? Like that's why it's like uncomfortable sometimes, because you're reading and you're like, it's like you're looking in a mirror and you're looking back at yourself. You're like, oh man, I have done that before. Like
you just feel that weight of like your own like sin. Dude.
Yeah. Well, and you look and you're like, man, like I've had like that holier than thou attitude before. Maybe not in the same sense, but like say you're in a big city or something, you're like, oh, I would never do that. You know what I mean? Like I would never get to that level.
Yeah.
Of like homelessness or whatever the case may be, right? Or even like at work, we see dope heads all the time.
We were just talking about something like this yesterday. I think the perfect example for cops. I was just talking about this last night with somebody, but is the gossiping.
Yeah.
I was saying I don't get involved in that crap.
Yeah.
I have done it.
Yeah.
But not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want, but I hate being involved with it because it's just obnoxious at this point.
Yeah, and it's like, but what I'm getting at is like all of these different perspectives in here. There's a point in our lives, at least one, and it's probably multiple, where we have been the Pharisee, we have been the sinner, we have been the like everything in here. We have been that, but we often forget that everything in here is Christ. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that means he embodied being a human, so he's been that, but he was perfect, so he was able to choose not to do that. He just didn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that may not be, I mean, like, again, I'm not like a pastor or anything, but that was something that I was just thinking about like all day yesterday. Like how God was fully man. And this book illustrates what man is capable of and what they did, whether it's good or evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't do that. That's really the only difference. It's like he didn't do it and we do.
Yeah.
But it's reassuring because like we're created in his image, which means that this word also would be us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is like it's sort of like the finish line. Like you'll never reach it.
Yeah.
But this is what we're heading towards.
Well, see, but I just don't even think it's that, because it's like the story. It's the whole story, not just the finish line. Like it has the good stuff that we strive to be. It has the bad stuff that we are.
Right.
It has
what I mean
the
is
stuff
like
that we
the
came from.
example that Christ set.
Yeah.
Like I could never be as righteous and perfect and blameless as Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But man, if that's not like the highest goal that you can set for yourself, and that's something to like pursue with all of your might.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like
He set the track down, and you just got to keep putting yourself back on it.
Yeah. But like to pursue the ability to treat people that kind of kindness and like compassion and like the way he doesn't like you see like these people that come in and they're imperfect. They're people that like you or I would be like bothered by.
Mm-hmm.
Like, golly, can you get it together? Like there's people that we deal with that we know them by name. We've been to their house 1,000 times.
I passed one last night right down here at the freeway intersection driving a freaking lawnmower. I'm like, dude,
we're thinking of the same person.
get the lawnmower home.
But
don't wreck.
It's these people that we get exhausted with.
Yeah.
And you see that Jesus always had a heart for those kinds of people. Like it was always like compassion. It was always kindness. It was never this like, all right, we're doing this again, are we? Like, come on, dude, get it together.
Yeah.
Like it's, hey, like you're not on the right path, but I believe you can get on the right path.
It's probably because he sees past what we would consider just to be like a recklessness or carelessness, and he sees like the disease of their mind and flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we don't see. We don't even recognize it because we're just like, you're just choosing to be a prick. Like,
Yeah.
that we got to keep dealing with.
Yes.
Yeah.
When in reality they have some sort of demon attached to them or something.
But
Something's wrong with their brain. It
Yeah.
ain't working right.
And
Yeah.
or it could just be like, no, like they're at a point in their life with him specifically where nobody's really showing him like compassion whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I have noticed after that night, me and you went there, and I said the thing about Thanksgiving. Seriously,
Yeah.
he's acted different every time he figures out who I am.
Really?
Yes. Last night, I roll up, I see him, he's coming I'm like, dude. Because I had a gun in my car that I needed to bring home, so I'm bringing it home. You know, I'm busting it. I'm the only supervisor working. I'm like, I can't be out here super far. And I'm like, and I don't even get out of my car.
Is he riding a lawnmower
yes.
right now?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him on a lawnmower.
Well, he borrowed it from some. Regardless, he's not always driving a lawnmower. Yes,
He borrowed it?
Yeah. So I pull up and I'm like, dude, your name. What are you doing? He said, sir, wait, who am I speaking with? He's like, I can't really see you because of your lights. I said, Whitehead. He goes, oh, because I borrowed this mower. You know how it goes. I'm just taking it back. And I was like, I get it. I was like, am I going to be at your house tonight? And he's like, no, I swear this happened just last night.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. He's like, we're doing all right. I was like, dude, we really want to see you guys like do good.
Yeah.
So she hasn't gone to Florida.
No.
Now everybody watching knows who we're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even. He's like, please don't, because he thought I was gonna like tow his mower and stuff. I'm like, dude. If somebody comes up behind you, just turn your cell phone around and like wave the light so you don't get ran over. Like you have headlights on the front, just get it where you need to go. And he's like, yeah, I live right the corner. I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh, dude, I really appreciate it. I'm like, all right, cool. And he drives off. That could have been, it would have been completely different. But as soon as he was like, oh, it's you. Like it was like, oh, okay, cool.
See,
You know
that's
what I mean?
the struggle of the flesh. Jesus could go to that situation and be stern, but also loving. And I
Yeah.
go, and I just want to punch him in the face sometimes.
Yes.
God almighty.
Yeah.
But, and then occasionally I go and we like meet some common ground because he was like, I don't think he was a veteran, but he was also in the same place as I was.
Yeah,
at
he
the
was
same
like a
time doing
journalist or
different.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had like common ground. We talked last time, and I was like, hey, he's not always terrible, I guess. And then the next time I went, I wanted to punch him in the face. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God.
It's wild the opportunities we have. Because once we started doing this and getting into it, and like obviously our original mission was like, okay, we're gonna train them to do all this stuff, and we still are. But it's like it was like there was a huge piece missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like they're not gonna win. We're not gonna win every single fight all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if we have that mindset, like I really believe all three of us think we're gonna win every single fight every single time.
100%.
Yeah.
But
Can't lose.
winning that fight might be all right. I made it to heaven. which means you lost the first bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean,
So,
in the long
but-
run.
Anyways, obviously that developed into what it is we're doing now, like to where this was the first step. Like it's like spiritually we were, or at least for me, like I didn't feel like I was in the right place.
Yeah, I was not where I knew I should be.
Yeah, and now I've seen where it has changed me on the job.
Yeah.
Like we stop a car. It's been a while. I'm not to get on like all these like turkey trots or whatever, but anyways,
I think this is the episode now at this point.
it seems like it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
It's fine.
this
It's
guy
all right.
is watching a car that's been coming from Knoxville, and then I'm not going to get too into it because if I start to think about it, it's going to really, my sin's going to show through on the individual that stopped this car. Anyways, he stops the car. I go down there. We're talking back and forth. Well, the person that's driving the car is related to someone at the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking back and forth, like he's doing his searching thing and all that, and I'm talking to her, and we just start talking about random things, and somehow we got on the topic of like church and Christ and like our faith and whatnot, and I'm just like, and I remember telling her, like, I was like, look, obviously we're not doing this for nothing, and she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so this guy has a tool that does not miss. So there was dope in this car if it's not in it right now. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And he's up searching. And I'm back here talking to her. And I was like, so without a doubt, something has gone on in this vehicle that shouldn't have. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. That doesn't make you any worse than what we are.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And we just started talking back and forth. And I'm like, it just means you've made decisions that have gotten you in a place where it's hard for you to get out of, and you've let it control you. That's really the only difference. And I
Yeah.
was like, so what you're telling me is that you lean on Christ, but what your behavior is showing is that you don't. And she was like, yeah, I mean, I do. She's like, I do believe in Jesus, but I just don't really. I was like, well, take it to him. I was like, because what you're doing is not something that you want to do. You are now addicted to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about the entire time. Like, it wasn't like at first it was like, oh, where do you work? Just like breaking the ice. Because I was like, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her to tell me where it's at, which was in her pocket, right, the whole time. But anyways, like, it was just cool because like, once we started talking about that, like, I know I have a job to do, but I could have cared less if we found anything or if we like cited her or took her to jail or whatever, which she ended up just having like a baggie on her. It didn't even have anything in it, but
Yeah.
it's like, it's crazy how much my perspective has like changed.
Yeah.
Where the goal used to be like, I'm going to chase it. I'm going to get this dope. I'm going to get this arrest. I'm going to do this.
Make an arrest no matter what.
Yeah. And now it's
Yeah.
like,
Without consideration for the moral aspect.
yes.
This is something that we talked about a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it's like when you first start out, you don't, you're looking for the arrest. You're not considering the person
Yeah.
and the effects. Because misdemeanor arrests, not a big deal.
Well, I wouldn't say
For
you're
them.
looking for the arrest as much as you're just looking for the crime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to solve the crime because a lot of times it's not an arrest and that's not what we're hunting. But go ahead. Sorry.
But you want to get something.
Yes.
You want to write
Yeah.
a citation. You want to take somebody to jail for breaking the law, not just
Mhm.
for no reason, obviously.
Yeah.
But, and then it turned, for me at this point, it's like turned from that to like, what, is this really that big of a deal to put a mark on them?
Mm-hmm.
And some of these people think that like going to jail for a DUI is like the end of their life.
Well, and it's a lot. And what blows my mind is how much it's tougher than dope usually. But anyways, yeah, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. Like, it's like we say we get into the job to help people, but really, I mean, everybody that's watching this feels the same way, or you're a liar. We want to chase people. We want to run after them. We want to get into these like high intense. Like, that's all I thought about at first. Like,
Yeah.
like Josh, he's in my face screaming at me in the academy, and I'm thinking about chasing cars.
Well,
Like, I'm like, don't screw up because I won't be able to pursue stuff.
I think the mind shift, like as a rookie, you think like a suspended driver is a big deal.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
like, dude, got one.
Yeah.
Got a bad guy.
Yeah.
At this point, though, you're just like, I mean, how the hell is he going to get to work?
Yeah,
You gotta drive.
That's like-
Especially when you're like, oh, I got him again.
Of course he's
dude."
going to drive suspended.
You know what I mean?
The only ones that don't make sense is you're driving suspended and your passenger's got a license. That's retarded. But
Yeah.
otherwise, you know,
Yeah.
we get it.
But
I get it. You got to go to work. You have to get there somehow to pay the fines, which you're probably not going to pay.
yeah.
But, you know,
But
you
it
gotta do
changes. It really changes your perspective because that stuff helps. You know, like catching the criminals helps.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like we see, like you were saying, we see the same person over and over and
Yeah.
over. So it's like, how do we help this person? Because what we're doing is not helping them.
Correct. It's not solving the problem.
You know what I mean? And
And
like,
like there is some of their choice in it, but at the end of the day, when we hit somebody with like a VOP and they've got a suspended or revoked driver's license, they have like, how are they going to make it to their like
yeah,
probation meeting?
exactly.
You know, so they have to find somebody. They're missing work. They have to find somebody to bring them over there. The person that's bringing them over there is probably missing work. So
Mhm.
like, and we're violating these people and putting them right back in jail and making the problem worse. Where
Yes.
they can't pay their court costs because they can't go to work because we took their license. So like, we end up trapping people in like kind of this crazy cycle, and it does make you wonder how much we're contributing to the continuation of the problem.
Well, and it goes back to what you said. Like whenever I was talking about running into him,
Mm-hmm.
and you were like, "Oh, if Jesus was there, he would show him a lot more like compassion all the time, and he'd
Yes.
probably only see him once." See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, if what we're doing is causing us to see this person multiple times, then we're probably not handling it the right way. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you go back to the way Christ was, like you don't ever see Christ being like, "Hey, this guy showed up and I sent the demon out," and then you don't see the guy calling back the next day on
Yeah.
911 for no reason.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
And obviously he has different abilities than we do because he's the divine creator, you know?
Yeah.
But like, that's the kind of stuff it makes me think about now.
Yeah, there's one particular female that used to raise hell, and especially with like substance abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go out to her house like multiple times a week. And we got a 911 hang up there recently. And it's really cool because like when I've been out there, I've tried to treat her like just a normal person,
Yeah.
compassion, dignity. Like, hey, look, like you don't have it together, but you could have it together. And the last time I went out there, we had a 911 hang up. It was an accidental call, but I went out there and she was there. And she's supposedly sober now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she told me.
Yeah.
And she looked,
Well, you can tell a
Healthy.
difference in them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you can probably tell.
yeah, she looked healthy. She was smiling, talking like a normal person, not all, you know.
I'm transitioning to this, like, saying things that make sense.
To when you're on calls and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I stopped a lady the other day. Obviously, she was showing indicators. She looked right at it when I was like, "You got anything in here?" She
Yeah.
looked right at it, you know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Lit a cigarette as soon as I got back to my car. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, cool." And she lied at first, right? No, I don't know. You know, this isn't my truck. This is my boyfriend's truck.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff, and all the outs. And then, long story short, got her out and like, listen, last shot, you got something in there? She said yes, little joint, whatever. Then found it under the seat in a cigarette packet.
Mhm.
I'm like, did you hide that? If you're honest with me, this is the point. If you tell people to be honest with you, right? Shouldn't be a gotcha. It should be, if you're honest with me, I'll work with you, then you need to do it.
100%.
That's where the moral policing comes in.
Yeah.
You have the authority to make a decision. It's not, something that you're forced to do.
Yeah.
So,
Have you ever like asked somebody why?
what?
Like why they do drugs?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're sitting there from like why do you do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, meth, because of like what's the appeal? That's what I've said. What's the why is it so great that you just keep on doing it?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, man, actually it was crack. It was a lady stopped her in Seymour, and she was like, I got a crack pipe in there. And I'm like, okay. You know, she was cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, why do you even do it? She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've just done it for so long now. I just keep
A
on
lot
doing
of
it. It's the
them
worst
start
stuff ever.
young.
Dude, especially
Yeah.
when you get the story. So, like, one time I asked this girl, and it was heroin. And I was like, why do you do that? And she was like, well, you know, whenever I was, she was 14 when she started.
Yeah.
She was like, I'd smoked a little weed with some buddies from that, some guys I was hanging out from high school. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. And she's like, and then I just went, and one day somebody had something, and they were like, oh yeah, this is better. And like, she's like, I didn't want to look bad, you
Mhm.
know? She's like, so I tried it. And she's like, ever since, like, it's just been like my body just feels like it needs it.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. She was like, sometimes I can't function without it. And she was like, she was telling me, like, a lot of people will do meth to stay awake and have that energy and everything. And then they can't, it's so strong that they can't undo it. So they take heroin to like go back down.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we become dependent on it.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't say dependent on it. She
People
said,
just-
like, we need it.
People just have like different levels of willpower
Yeah.
and addiction,
Mm-hmm.
the grasp of addiction. And it's not just for drugs, but like cigarettes.
I mean, it could be anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
even have to be something you're putting into like a chemical you're putting into your body.
Yeah. Like I
Like-
quit smoking and dipping cold turkey.
Mm-hmm.
My dad tried to quit smoking, still hasn't.
Yeah.
Never will. It's too powerful for him to overcome on his own.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's too powerful as much as it is the reason he's stopping isn't powerful enough as the will to have it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's really easy for us to be like, oh, I'd never do that. You know what I mean? Like I would never smoke heroin.
Yeah.
Or not smoke heroin, but I would never do heroin. I would never smoke weed. I would never whatever the case may be.
Right.
And it's like, which the weed one's up for debate. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing at all. But anyways, but like, it's easy for us to say because we've never done it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, my dad has a buddy that he hunts with that was a big time meth addict, and he was like, "Yeah, when you take it, you just had like you feel like a superhero. Like you feel like nothing can kill you. You stay awake for 3 or 4 days. Like you operate with it. It's the same reason freaking Hitler just shoveled it into his dang shoulders. You know what I mean?
No, that's like what I was talking about, the pain pills. Like I didn't understand it before, but then
Yeah.
I went to the ER
Yeah.
and I had to take it for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when it wears off and you start feeling all the aches and pains in your body naturally, and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was all gone until it came back.
Well,
No wonder
and
they do this.
It's
you know?
because we're humans that are built to endure things.
Yeah.
So if you keep doing it and not like relieving yourself of it, you're not even gonna know because
Yeah.
that's how strong you are as a human being. Like we're a lot stronger than what we think we are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you constantly, especially if you work out and stuff like we do, like you're gonna have constant aches and soreness and all of that, and like we are all to a point now to where if we work out and we're not sore for 2 or 3 days, it's like, dang, I didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like we don't even notice that it hurts to the level that it does because we do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like my lower back, right? Like I'm super tall, so my back's jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really notice it, but I'm sure if I took some kind of pain medicine, like you said, like I'd be like, wow, this
Oh,
is
you
what
would.
regular humans feel like.
It felt like crippling when it came back. I'm like,
Yeah.
dadgum, it's like that all the time.
Yeah. It makes me think, dude, I remember like my dad still says it all the time. Like I don't feel aches, you know, but he's like, oh, hell, you're going to feel it when you get older, son. You'll realize what it is to hurt, son.
Well, it's like profound. It's really profound. I can understand why people would get addicted to it because, like,
Yeah.
even now, I notice it more, like my back and my knees. I notice it more now after taking pain medicine for like a medical issue that I had.
Mhm.
Now I'm not taking it, and I haven't even been taking it for like 2 months now. But I still notice my pain
Yeah.
like twice as bad as I did before.
Yeah.
And it's like always in the back of my mind now, like, dang, dude, like,
Which makes you think of like, or makes me think of like something else. Like when you see these drug addicts and these people who are on stuff, they're most of the time they've moved on to the harder drugs because they need something to replace the pills because they can't afford them.
Yeah.
mhm.
And then we sometimes as humans like will judge their actions,
Because we haven't done it, like you said.
but you also probably haven't done the stuff that dude has done for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they got hooked on pills and then it transitioned into harder dope. It's like they around here specifically, they probably are a roofer. They probably are a concrete worker.
Manual
They're
labor.
probably the person who made sure that you had a place to live that wasn't a piece of junk,
Mm-hmm.
and it broke their body down because they're giving their self off as a service to us, and we don't even see it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's like one thing you don't realize. If all you've ever done is be a cop, then you might be soft. I don't mean depending on how
I
you
get
grew
it.
up.
Yeah.
Because like getting out of the military and then going to landscaping,
Yeah.
and then going to this, it's like this is not a manual labor job.
No. Well, and like going from, I went into metal fabrication and everything after high school. Like,
Yeah.
well, like I'm out there. Like this job, as far as manual labor goes, has made me so soft.
Yeah.
Like, because used to,
Very soft.
Dude, it wasn't nothing for it to be like 95, 100 degrees, and I'm out there just laying it to it on a piece of metal, thousands of degrees. Like, I'm like, and I'm like flipping my hood up, laughing, sweat drenched.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, yeah. Now I'd be like, no way, I'd do that again.
Yeah, now we got a hose. Now we got a hose running from the AC unit stuffed in the vest. Like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've been sitting for an hour or two. This thing's freaking
yeah,
burning
it's
me up.
72 degrees.
Yeah.
We're in the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just getting back to where we originally started. Like, this has really changed the way, like, my perception, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
of the
Yeah.
public. And not that it was ever really bad. I always feel like I was kind of on the lighter side, like when it comes to like arresting or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been like a very hard person.
No.
The kind that just is happy to take somebody's rights and see them thrown in jail. But it's definitely helped me to approach people with compassion and sort of try to understand where they're at and like how they got here.
Yeah.
Like nobody grows up. No, you don't walk into a kindergarten class and go, "Hey, little Jimmy, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And he's going to look you in the face and go, "I want to be a heroin addict."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
like nobody had that intention.
Which is such an important thing to talk. Like, if you talk to anybody that's ever been one of my trainees, right, that I had as an FTO, they will all tell you that I have said at least one point, well, what's their story, though, before we do this?
Yeah.
Like, what's their story?
Yeah.
Because that's what, when they're like, oh, should I cite him or should I take him to jail? I'm like, okay, well, you could do this. You could do this. But there's an option over here that
Yeah.
where you don't do any of that and we fix the problem.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I do want to clarify. I don't want to get into the weeds of this and not be explicit on the other side of things. Is that this doesn't mean that I think we should be like soft on crime.
100%. Yeah.
Real crime.
Yeah.
Yes, violent crime. If there's no place in a civilized society for like just senseless violence. If you're beating on your woman or putting your hands on anybody, that's a problem. You're going to jail.
Yeah. Or like you said, whenever we talk about DUIs and things, right? Because the DUI process for the law enforcement side of it, the way we do it, is kind of a pain in the butt at first until you get it.
Mhm.
But like how you were like, look, is this, whenever I stop somebody, is it a kid who's made a bad decision and is like just left his buddy, like you can see his buddy's house that he just left from and he just didn't know? Or is this like a 35, 36-year-old person who has kids at home and has been stopped like 3 or 4 times and arrested, and like they should know,
Yeah.
they should have the wherewithal to be like, okay, I'm putting everyone else's life in danger whenever I'm out on the road.
Yeah. It's like, for me, it's like, if it's DUI, you're probably going to jail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're probably going to jail. If it's a seatbelt, I'm not writing you. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only
That
person
endangers
you're
you.
hurting is
Yes.
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. But it's like, I just think it's, we harp so hard on like not screwing things up policy wise,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it takes forever. That's why like I always say, like, you're not really going to learn what you need to learn until you're out on your own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly worried about whether your FTO is going to be like hounding you or watching every single thing you're doing. So you're trying to be perfect all the time as far as policy goes, right?
Yeah.
So like you're trying to remember laws, you're trying to remember policies, you're trying to remember like questioning that they like, which is insane to me that some FTOs are like, I'm not gonna get off on the tangent anyways. But like you don't really get to see like the discussions that a seasoned officer's having with this person, because they've already in like a minute or two they've figured out what the crime is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, especially on a stop, like once you got PC and you can hold them, like you're just BSing at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that's when I figure out what decision I'm gonna make.
Yeah.
Like I don't look in there and see it. And like the whole lying deal, like I know everybody gets fired up sometimes. Like if you get lied to,
You gotta expect.
I'm telling you right now, if I'm doing something that's even, well, now I'd probably be a little different. But before I really started getting into all this, like if I'm doing something that I think I can tell them the opposite of, I'm not going to tell the police.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
I'd rather
Yeah.
just keep their mouth shut than lie to me.
Yeah.
I don't like to lie.
It doesn't-
I'll tell them, like, if you lie to me, I'm not going to.
It doesn't bother me
But-
because
Tell me
I
the truth.
expect it, dude. You
I
gotta
expect it until you give them the spiel, dude. Which is why we shouldn't punish people for. I mean,
Yes.
I mean,
for
unless
being
they like
honest.
broke into a house and like killed somebody, and
Yeah.
they're honest about that. It's like,
Yeah.
well, you're still, you know what I mean? Thank you
All
for
right,
being
I'll
honest.
cite
but-
you.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah. But that's my thing is like the lying doesn't bother me at all.
No.
Because I'm like, okay,
It's part of the
yeah,
game.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, and then I'll be like, okay, look, dude, you were clearly full of crap. In this little battle of the wits here, I have beat you because I found it,
Yeah.
or I did whatever. And it's like, can we just be real now at this point? Like,
Yeah.
like you're caught,
All right, dude. The game is up.
whatever.
Like,
I'm like, yeah, man, sorry I lied. I'm like, okay. And then we move forward from there. What happens
Yeah.
after that point is what determines what I do.
yeah.
Like if they continue the lie after
Yeah.
you've already got them.
Yeah,
I-
because at that point,
I agree with that.
Like, you know, their little cues and stuff. Like,
Well, like the lady that with the truck with the joint.
yeah,
I asked her. I was like, "Did you throw it under there to hide it from me?" And she said, "Yes," admitting to a felony. And I was like, "All right." So, listen, that's a felony. Don't do that again. Next time, just leave it out there and tell us it's there
yeah,
or whatever. Just leave it there. It's fine.
yeah,
It's not a big deal.
yeah,
So I wrote her a warning. You know,
yeah, yeah. I get it, and that's why, like, especially like in being an FTO, that's one of the best parts about it. Like, I know we all gripe about it all the time because it's now that is a hard job. Like, being an FTO, like you're exhausted by the end of the day.
I just
But
have PTSD from them driving.
I bet you do. I bet you do. I can't remember who it was last night. They pulled up next to me and they were like, oh, it was right after your car died last night.
Yeah,
Nobody
And-
has worse luck with
I know.
vehicles.
That's what this. I can't remember who it was. Like I don't know, but they said, dude, Seth has the worst luck with vehicles. He was like, if it's not breaking down, then one of his trainees is wrecking it. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. But anyways, like that's where, like when you're training somebody, it's like, well, what do you want to do here? You found dope, or you did this, and whatever the case may be. Like they have probable cause for a crime. Like, what do you want to do? And they're like, oh, yeah, every time. Let's take him to jail if it's possible. And it's like, dude, okay, what other options
you
are
could
there?
do that, but
Yeah, and they're like,
I mean-
okay, well, let's cite him. Let's cite him for driving without a license or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, especially if it's somebody who has no license, but they're eligible for it to be reinstated and all that. Like, it's like, dude, this guy has done everything he can to get it back. It just hasn't gone to the DMV yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know, but it's like the lazy way would say, all right, yeah, go ahead, do what you want.
Yeah.
Instead of like taking the extra 10 minutes or so. Because the thing is, like, something that takes 5 minutes for us to say to each other, it's like, or like even 5 seconds, like, it's going to take an extended amount of time for somebody who's never done it.
just because you
Really?
can doesn't mean you should.
Yes. And that part, I feel like, is what gets left out of FTO. That's
Yeah.
what gets left out. It's
Mhm.
not like, that's the difference. You have FTOs that care and FTOs who check boxes.
Yeah,
No, that's the two. That's all you got. And it's like the ones that care are going to talk about everything,
Mhm.
even if they like arresting everybody they can arrest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like thinking of like, for some reason, people equate, oh, well, I arrested this many people this week, and it's like, well, big freaking whoop, dude. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Go back and get them next week whenever they failure to appear? Like
Yeah.
it's like you're a real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
my thing
anyways.
with that is they should be thinking. I want them thinking for themselves, and I want them.
Yes.
Whenever they ask me that, I'm like, do what you think is right.
Yeah.
Here's all your options. Do you know what all your options are? We talk about it all.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you think is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then I'll just let them decide on what, Don't do what you can do just because you can. do what you think is the right thing to do.
Yeah. And it's like, do what you believe is going to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not, there may be no option to solve the problem permanently. But like DUIs. If you DUI this person and they're a repeat offender, I mean, you're probably going to DUI them anyways. But like, what I'm getting at is like, regardless of what you do, you have to solve the problem that night.
Mm-hmm.
That's our job, is to solve the problem right then.
Yeah.
You being human, though, you should look at the whole situation and think, how could I really help this person to solve this problem for them permanently?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or at least facilitate that.
Yeah.
And it's like that just gets overlooked. That's what I'm saying. That's the
Yeah.
difference in checking a box
Absolutely.
and caring about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Like we've been saying, like doing your job from a place of compassion, and it applies to everything, not just like police work, but
Mhm.
like when you interact with anybody, when you can choose to be angry or choose to just take one extra second to try to understand, the choice should be obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And like it reminds me in The Great Gatsby, there's a quote where the main character, his name's Nick, he's talking about he got some advice from his father once, and he said his father told him, whenever you feel like criticizing anybody, remember that nobody in the world has had all the advantages that you've had.
Yeah.
And that applies to anybody.
Yeah.
Because if there's anybody you can look down on, just think about everything that went right for you not to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
If there's some reason why my life has gone so great that I'm not the guy on the floor turning blue with a needle in my arm.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I should look down on this guy. Hit him with the Narcan and go, hey, brother, let's talk about why we're not going to overdose again.
Yeah.
You know, from a place of compassion, instead of looking at this guy and be like, golly,
Which is a
I
hard
can't
thing
believe I have to
do.
come
Yeah.
here and save this guy's life
Yeah.
again. Third time he's overdosed this month. Like, that's a human life we're talking about. And like, it's
Yeah.
easy to get like apathetic. It's easy to get like,
Well, for me, like my weakness when it comes to that is like I get pretty like, especially if you go in and there's like a crib or you can see toys or like, because you see everything, and it's like I get aggravated. Like, I'm like, dude, why are you doing this? Like, you have a human life that's counting on you.
yeah,
Like, and it's like you get so fired up on overdose, or at least I do. That's one that like really, really takes me off, because yes, it's impacting their health and it could potentially kill them. But every time their family is carrying the weight of like, well, my mom or dad or my sister or brother or whatever almost died.
Yeah,
You
your
know what I mean?
6-year-old shouldn't answer the door and say, "Daddy's in there,"
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
be cool with it.
It should never, ever be a phone call to where your child is getting directions from somebody who's a dispatcher that's telling the police to come to your house on how to save your freaking family member's life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Unless it's like a medical emergency, like some sort
Yeah.
of like heart failure or something. But like, that's happening to these people. I've given CPR to multiple times to the same people.
yeah,
That's not normal for your family to endure that every time.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, for us, it affects us and we don't even know it, but it affects that family every single time that their family member's dying. They're going through that every time that they think it's going to be the last time they see him. That's why it's so hard for me to deal with, or not deal with, but like it just frustrates me so bad on overdoses specifically.
Yeah, I get the. I mean, if you don't care, why should I? If
Yeah.
you don't care about yourself, why should I care about you?
Yes.
Why should I endanger myself and everybody else driving across the city 900
Yeah.
miles an hour to save your life when you don't care? That's where I
Well,
keep
and I
falling
think
into.
that, I mean, a lot of that goes back to whenever we're talking to the individuals about why it is that it's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, instead of saying, like, we're like, dude, you shouldn't have done that. Why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Instead of being like, dude, look, when this happens, your family sees this.
yeah,
We see this. We have to run emergency traffic across town. And now with you being on evenings, like, there's even more risk. You know what I mean? Because there's tons
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah, there's a ton of traffic
You know what I mean? Like on nights, it doesn't really matter. You can get across the whole county in like 20 minutes. But like,
without seeing another car.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then on evenings, everybody's going home from work. Like you're running traffic, dude, and it could be a school zone that you have to go. I mean, you can go around it. Obviously, there's different ways, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
It
every
puts the
single
public at more
person,
risk.
yes,
Yeah.
every single person on the road is at risk when somebody overdoses.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Us and them.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how many times have you ever told somebody that on an overdose? I can't say that I have. I don't think.
I have.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like
They don't care. And then that's where I fall into
at that
the
moment, of
okay.
course, they're not going to care. They're
All right,
freaking.
dude, you don't care. Why do we care?
Yes.
And the reason we should care is because Jesus would care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the reason, if that's not good enough for you, then that's the job that you signed up for.
Exactly.
That's your job. You
yeah,
should, you
but
know.
like still, like that's a person that Jesus died for.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
when you think about it that way, like, all right, like it's a lot easier to shift into that perspective because every person that's ever annoyed you, every person that's ever like done you wrong, every one of them is somebody that Jesus died for.
Well, and that part of it also is like, it makes you think like, okay, you go and deal with this person when they're overdosing, but how many times you pass this person's house when they're not high and you look over and you see him? How many times you pulled in there and said like, hey, dude, like, are you doing okay? I was here that night, whatever.
Yeah.
Not often.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never.
Really? Never?
Mm-mm. I haven't stopped to check on him afterwards, no.
I have on like multiple things, not just overdoses, but just like anything. Like I'll
Yeah.
pull in there and they'll be like, at first, you know, what is it? And I was like, nah, man, you're good. What's up?
That's something I thought about doing. The particular family you were talking about earlier. I was driving past one time and I was like, I wonder if I just swung in there
Yeah.
and it was just like, hey, how are you? We ain't got a call today.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
If now with that specific family, if I was in my cruiser to do it, not a chance. I've done it in my personal vehicle to some people before though.
Yeah.
But like, no way, because I don't want him to be like, oh, okay, well, I live right down the road and I see him. He thinks it's okay. I mean, if he can pull in here in his personal vehicle, I'll pull in there in mine. So no,
Yeah.
not happening, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Between the hours of 8 and 6, if you need me, call me.
well,
Well,
you ready to wrap it up?
yeah, this was we read like 3 verses.
Obviously, somebody needed this conversation today. I don't know who.
I
but
think so.
I feel like we needed this, or at least I did.
yeah, maybe.
You know, but I don't know. It was a good one.
I think that's where we were led. I like it. I'm happy with it.
Guys, if you stuck around this long, like, share, subscribe, please comment also, because we will answer back. Even though I know sometimes we suck at answering the 2 comments that are on there, but we will, and that will help us out extensively. The more engagement we have, the more we can do for you guys. But we love you. We appreciate everything you guys do and your time. Peace.
Thank you.